there ever any doubt in your mind that you wanted this to happen the way it did?
Well, obviously, I wanted to be named to the team. It's an honor to have the opportunity to represent my country and our country. And it's going to be a fun tournament. We've all been participants in the process with the Canadians and Hockey Canada. Obviously, we're all on the same page.
Carey, we see you on the ice, and many analysts say you look fine. Some others, I think you're not doing fine. What's the status?
I'm right on, just continuing the process. It's been a really long one. Obviously, it's been very slowly progressing, but the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've kind of turned the corner and started heading in the right direction, and obviously, me skating on the ice with full equipment shows that.
You got some shots today? You received some shots?
Yeah, Davey came out and shot some pucks on me.
How did you feel?
It felt great. I haven't seen a shot for 3 months. So to be able to go back on the ice and put in real work is a lot of fun for me.
There's been a lot of debate about whether you should come back this season, but we haven't heard obviously from you on that subject. Like, to what extent was coming back this season a goal, and how important is that to you?
Well, it's been my goal this entire process. It's never been a goal for me to not play. But given the position that we're in, it doesn't change anything. I love playing hockey, and I want to get out there as quickly as possible. I want to be out there playing the game that I love. So, it's not a matter of protecting me. I'm going to play regardless. So, I'd rather do it sooner than later.
How confident are you to play?
Pardon?
How confident are you that you're going to play?
This year?
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. It's like I said, I'm not going to make any timelines or anything like that. But as far as the way things are progressing, it's looking pretty good.
How difficult has it been for you to watch what's happened to this team, given when you when you got injured, where you were to where you guys are now?
Well, I can definitely understand how frustrating it is for as a fan to go through that, not being able to do anything. I think it's much more stressful to watch than it is to actually play the game. And obviously it hasn't gone our way, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
And also, what have you learned about yourself as an athlete and as a person that you maybe didn't know existed within you, given this experience over the last couple months?
It's been very difficult. Obviously, I was dealt a kind of a bad hand getting injured, and it being longer than I was expecting. It's been really difficult mentally, but at the same time, to be able to keep driving every day and just keep your mind and your mentality on your goal ahead, and that's really been the big reason that I've been able to keep pushing.
There are a lot of assumptions made that you maybe came back too soon when you did come back. Can you tell us or shed any light on your point of view on that?
Well, yeah, I came back quickly, but I don't think me getting injured the second time necessarily has anything to do with my first injury. If you look at the tape, that could have happened to me if I was 100% healthy. So whether they were, connected, I don't know.
Carey, hindsight is 20/20, but knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently with the rehab process or anything before that?
No, I think our training staff has done a great job this whole time. They've been very supportive and given me every opportunity to get back. This entire time, the organization has been so supportive, and I really got to thank them for that, because they haven't put any pressure on me. Even through the difficult times, it's been hard, but they've been 100% supportive, and that really meant a lot to me.
Do you also think that coming back before the end of the season, regardless of where the team is in the standings, do you think that could avoid maybe or get a mental hurdle, one mental hurdle less before the start of next season?
Well, it's going to happen either this year or next year. It's going to happen regardless, whether it's this year or next year. So I'm just looking forward to being able to get back on the ice and get that competitive spirit back.
But to further to that, if you coming back into a World Cup situation where you're playing pretty much the highest level of hockey imaginable from what would be at that point, I guess, 6 months of inactivity, it's got to be a lot more difficult if you don't get a few games in now, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe. At the same time, though, I'm not going to be playing again for, what is it going to be, 4 months anyway. So, whether 2 months is really going to make a huge difference is debatable. But, going into that tournament, my preparation is going to be the same whether I play this year or I don't.
Would the World Championships be a possible option for you, assuming the Canadians don't make the play?
Well, I'm going to be a new dad.
Right.
So I think that's probably going to wind up being priority. April 29th is going to be the birth of my first child. So, I don't know if wife is going to let me go, but it's not just that. That's something that I want to experience. That's a life experience that I want to be able to partake in and experience it to its fullest.
Was surgery an option at any time?
No, it wasn't. The nature of my position, it was just bad for goaltenders. It's like I said, that's the only way to explain it. It's never been an option to go get surgery, so that's that.
Time?
Time was only going to be the only option to let it heal fully, and obviously it's taken longer than expected, but that's the way it goes.
Have you spoken to other goalies that have gone through what you've gone through?
No. I've gone through it before, being out for a long time and the continuous rehab. It's a difficult process. So before it happened, I kind of knew how it was going to go.
You have an idea why it's taking so long longer than expected?
Yeah, timelines are given at the start of an injury. So, and that's based on, previous injuries. I don't think it's been diagnosed within this organization before. Maybe they haven't seen that before. But like I said, the nature of my position just made it a really difficult process to make it happen quickly.
On a scale of 10, where are you right now?
10? I don't know. I feel really good on the ice. I'm continuing to progress. It's been especially this last week since I started skating in my equipment, I'm starting to push my limits a little bit more and more. So I can't really give you a number out of 10. If I was at 10, I'd let you know. But let's just say between 3 and 7.
What's the most difficult movement to do with that kind of injury?
What's that?
Technique-wise, what's the most difficult movement to do?
Butterfly positioning, stretching out. It's goaltending. I'm a big guy, and it puts a lot of stress on your joints, on your groins, on your hips. It's not the easiest position to play, and which is why we wanted to make sure that it was 100% before I come back.
Have you had any setbacks since?
No setbacks. Just kind of plateaued at one point. I got to a point where I was like, why isn't this getting better? And we just stuck with it. And this last couple of weeks, we started to see the progression.
Carey, what was your, if any, but you were on the ice a few weeks ago and appeared to be in pain and showed a bit of frustration. It was caught on camera. It was replayed about 1 million times. What was your reaction to the reaction of everyone kind of freaking out when that happened? I imagine you heard about it, but I didn't.
Yeah, it didn't really change my mentality one bit. Like I knew how I felt. That was also what was not in the context was that was at the end of a 45-minute bag skate and I was exhausted. So, like I said, it didn't change anything in my mind.
But I mean, just generally speaking, how have you been able to shelter yourself from what everyone has been saying about your injury and everything going around this team and sort of the cause and effect there? Like, have you been able to shut that out, or?
Yeah, it's been very tough, but at the same time, I've just kind of tried to keep the same mentality that I had when I was playing the game. Kind of keep my eye on the goal, and really that's been my driving force so far. Everybody in the organization, my teammates have all been, very supportive. My family and my wife have been really supportive through the whole thing, and going through our first pregnancy kind of helped me, disengage from that as well.
Carey, do you have a timeline at all? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, I don't know yet. Obviously it's as soon as possible, but I don't have a timeline as of now.
If I can just get back to World Cup, PK has left off the initial 16-man roster. Your reaction to that?
Well, it's not the final roster, and those 4 guys are studs that they did pick. You know, you can't take that away from those 4 guys. So, you know, he's an elite defenseman in this league. You know, and there's still opportunity to make the team.
Carey, we've said that obviously your talent was missed, but your leadership seems to have been missing in the locker room. Have you at any point just came in the locker room and said something to the guys or something, because you appeared really down at some point?
Yeah, a couple times, but I've never been the type for those types of motivational speeches. You know, it's never really been my forte. You know, I've always been a kind of an example type of guy. So, yeah, there was a few times I went in there and said a few things, but you know, that's it's difficult for me to go do something like that. And you know, I think my presence is better felt on the ice than it is in a locker room.
What can you say about Mike Condon?
Did they win those nights?
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
How do you feel about Mike Condon, the way he's been playing since?
He's been playing very well. Obviously, getting put into a very difficult situation is not easy for a rookie goaltender, and I got to commend him for holding our team in for most nights. He's played extremely well. You know, he's an extremely hard worker, and it's paying off for him.
Doug Armstrong said yesterday that you've proven that you were the best goalie in the world, so your spot on the team for September is there if you want it, but you've seen Braden Holtby's season. How do you feel with that battle?
Well, that's a good thing to have. We want to win. You know, we go there whether I'm playing, whether Braden's playing, whether Corey's playing, it doesn't matter. We want to win that tournament. And that's the only thing that matters. I want to play, obviously, but I really want to win as well. So I hope I get the opportunity, but you know, we got 3 guys that know how to play goal pretty well.
Have the World Cup management, other than Mark, let's say, been in touch with you over the last couple of weeks just to sort of touch base with how you're doing, or have you not sort of heard from them in that respect?
With
World Cup, like the World Cup management team.
Yeah, Doug contacted me a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of been brainstorming a little bit on what to do to announce now or later. So we just decided to go ahead and announce it now and get it all, air it all out, you know.
If we don't allow you to vote for you, who's the best goalie in the world right now?
Well, he's playing pretty well. It's tough to argue that. He's been playing extremely well all season long. Numbers don't lie.
Mentally, do you fear a setback, or you were clear in that?
Yeah, that's been the goal this entire time, was to be able to come back with 100% confidence. Didn't want to come back at 90% and still have that mentally, you know, kind of shadow overcast. You know, we wanted to come back and make sure that I can go out there and compete at 100% and lay it all out there. Because if you still have that mental block, you can't play at your best.
Would that shadow linger all summer if you weren't able to play this season?
No, I don't think so. You know, I'm assuming that I'll be able to get some pretty good reps in between now and the end of the season, and I know my body. You know, it's going to be once the season's done, I'll also have a continued rehab throughout the summer. I'm not just going to stop rehabbing. You know, you know, then I'll get a month and a half of skating in before the World Cup camp starts. So.
Going back to October, when you came back, were you 100% then, or?
I felt like I was.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I didn't have any full mental blocks that time, and you know, like I said earlier, it's that injury could happen.
Did you re-injure what were you originally injured? Or was it a different injury?
It's a different type of injury, yeah.
Is
didn't
this a type of injury that cannot be operated on all ever, or just in your scenario you chose not or was not?
Yeah, at the time I chose not to, just because
Is it something that has been? Or
it has been before.
Okay.
But you know, in my position, my mentality was to come back sooner, like 6 weeks. I was like, okay, that's not long, you know. But as it progressed, it was like, okay, you know.
Every time you step on the ice, that setback could happen. Like every morning you step here or the bell center. Do you fear that?
You know, this, especially since I put my gear on, we've been staying within my limits. We haven't been really pushing it on the ice. I've been doing all my progression in the gym, you know, in a very controlled scenario. So that's been a kind of a confidence booster.
I know you don't want to give a timeline as to when you will return, but when will we see you receive strong shots?
Davey was shooting pretty hard today, I thought. Yeah, well, like I said, it's progression, and I don't know when I'll be back in practice, if that's what you're asking, but you know, every day we're trying to take steps forward.
Talking about the first time that you put your gear on, how are you feeling mentally at the Bell Center, and why was it important to be away from the media?
Just to have a clear mind. You know, I think when you're going out there for the first time after 3 months and an injury, last thing you want is to have a bunch of people watching you. You know, it's no secret. So I wanted to go out there in a controlled scenario and just go out there and play hockey. You know, get back, well, skate again. You know, it was nice to be able to throw the gear on and feel heavy and awkward again. And you know, it wasn't the most smooth of skates, but that's why I wanted to do it in a controlled, quiet environment.
You've talked about the fact that it was hard to see your team go down and have difficult stretches. What is your analysis of what went wrong with the Canadiens this season?
Well, it's been a tough stretch. Obviously, it's no secret that we weren't scoring goals. You know, it's a big part of the game now. You look at a team like Washington; they scored the most goals in the league. They're the first in the league. You know, so you know, that's probably a part of it. You know, I don't know if we were just a little bit out of sync, but all the games that I was watching, which I watched every one, it just seemed like we're just, you know, just not quite there and everything. We just weren't quite connecting. And you know, since the start of the season, when we started out so strong, everybody is always gunning for us. And when you're playing against teams that are gunning for you every night, obviously the competition is high. And you know, winning's tough in this league. It's not easy. It's not just given to you. And we just couldn't quite find a way to do it most nights.
How does it make you feel, or what are your thoughts when you hear your general manager pretty much say that your injury is why this happened?
Well, it's part of the equation. You know, it's you know, I'd like to think that I'm a big part of the team's success over the last couple of seasons, and you know, like I said earlier, I feel like my presence is best felt on the ice, competing, and you take that. I feel like the guys have a lot of confidence when I'm back there with them, but you know, it's probably a piece of the puzzle.
The opponents are going to continue to trash the net. Do you think that the league is doing enough to protect the goalies because you come back from it?
Well, it's you know, there's no question that guys go to the net hard. It's part of the game. It's where the goals are scored. You know, it's but you do see a lot of goaltenders getting injured. That number is increasing. Guys, they don't have any fear of going to the net anymore, and you know, it's I don't doubt that the league is gonna continue to try and protect us.
Was it the most frustrated period for you, the last 3 months?
Absolutely. It's not an easy process to just stand by and watch. Like I said, it's much more difficult being a fan than it is a player, and you know, it wasn't fun for me.
What was your reaction when your GM came out here and said that Michel won't lose his job this season?
Well, he's you know, our coach had a great attitude this entire time. He's been very supportive of us. You know, it's not an easy position for him to be in as well. He's a human as well. You know, he's been criticized this entire time, and I think he's handled it very well.